On this episode of Ghost Hunters International, the team is joined by a new member as they near the Arctic Circle.
This is the farthest north GHI has ever been.
Angela is visited by the presence of a former inhabitant of Sweden's haunted house of priests.
My bed feels like it's vibrating.
It is vibrating.
It's moving.
But what will Barry dig up in his quest for answers?
You want me to stop? Make your appearance.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Then GHI learned Sweden's method of ghost prevention in Fortress Fallberg.
Someone chose to pierce this man right through his heart to prevent him from becoming a ghost.
But the weather outside is more than frightful. It's dangerous.
Have you looked at the drop-off? Joining the team, one and only Joe Chin. Really excited to have him on the team.
Hey.
How you doing, Jeff?
Good, Dustin. How you been?
Good, man. Good.
This is Joe Chin's first investigation with the GHI team. Everyone's really excited to have him. He's one of the nicest guys you will ever meet and a seasoned investigator. I've worked with him before. Barry's worked with him. So we're really excited to have him back and have him as a full member of the team. All right, well, let's hop in the cars, get to it, and get to investigating. We're coming up on Bornavat, Sweden. So this is the farthest north that GHI has ever been. And Brandy tells me that we're actually heading to a huge metropolitan area that consists of 40 people in this town. So she's going to fill us in on why exactly we're heading this far north to see so few people.
We are headed to what is known as Sweden's most haunted inn, and like Rob said, we are actually headed about 50 miles south of the Arctic Circle. The inn was originally built as a vicarage in 1876, and a vicarage is basically a house for the local parish priest. Now, I have come to learn that at one point the wife of one of the residing chaplains had died, and the chaplain couldn't stand the idea of losing her, so he actually removed her body from the mortuary and took her back to the house and kept her there for a while before burying her on the property.
That's kind of romantic.
Or a little bit sick, one or the other.
Yeah, it's a little different. It is believed that her spirit still roams the inn.
All right, we're here, so let's get the cars parked and see what we got. Hi.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Rob.
Nice to meet you. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. I really hope that GHI could come up with some physical proof, like what might be causing it.
Tell us a little about the history of this place.
Sure. This house was built in 1876 and was a residence for the priests. Priests lived here until 1948. And then a couple bought this place as their own private residence for about 20 years.
And how did it become an inn today?
In 1970, the local businessman in this village bought this place and made it into a hotel.
Could you take us on a tour around and show us the hot spots? That'll be terrific.
Sure. We'll just go into the dining room. And it's actually this piece of furniture that got it all started. The last priest that lived here, he was actually sitting in this rocking chair one night, and all of a sudden the chair starts to lean forward. So he puts his feet down, but he couldn't hold it. Like a cold rush went through his body, and then he was just kind of thrown out of the chair.
Have you ever experienced anything with this chair yourself?
It moves. Like you can come in here and clean the floor and everything and just put it back in its place, and when you come in here, it could be on the other side of the room.
All right, so where are we off to next?
What we're entering here is the pink room. And this was the office for the priest. And what's particular about this room is people have felt like sitting on them, sitting on the side of the bed and like kind of patting their legs and their upper body.
All right, where are we heading next?
This is the old office where they would stay and work, but this room is so crazy, like you would always get bothered in here. And as you can see, the mudroom is right there.
Suddenly I heard the front door went open, so I went out to the mudroom just to greet the guests that I thought had arrived. But then I heard footsteps, and they were walking towards me. And the steps stopped right beside me, but I didn't see anyone.
So these are the stairs heading upstairs. Right now we're gonna head into the blue room. What happens in here is that you would hear a small child cry. In the early 19th century, there was a girl working here for the priest. She was 20, 21, and she got pregnant with the priest. And that was a big, big shame. So she gave birth to the child and killed it. And she buried it right outside this house. And that is the child that you would hear crying at night.
So do we know exactly where this child was buried?
Right outside our window here. Nobody has ever found a body.
All right, where to next?
We're gonna go into the yellow room, but that's the room I don't go into. Back in the days, a family staying here, they had 9 children. The wife actually died in there, giving birth, and her husband, he totally lost his mind after she died. So he actually went to the morgue to get her back. So he brought his dead wife back here and held her in this room. And people have woken up hearing her screaming from giving birth. And sometimes this door will just close. I was standing right in the middle of this room, and I was giving a tour for some people. It was right in the middle of the hot summer. All of a sudden, I feel a cold chill down my spine, and it's just like someone put a block of ice on my back. When I was heading out, something pushed me in my shoulders, and I just flew out of the room and just landed out here. And ever since that, I feel like I'm not welcome in there.
So you feel fine and comfortable in the rest of the house as long as you don't go through that door?
Yes.
All right, well, we got our work cut out for us. Thank you so much for taking us on the tour.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're gonna start getting set up, and hopefully we can get you some answers to your concerns.
Thank you.
You wouldn't mind setting that up for me in the yellow room?
I think one of the interesting points about this house was the fact that it was occupied by priests for so long. Usually you don't put, the paranormal and priests hand in hand. It's kind of an odd relationship. What happened in this house?
No.
This looks like the work of Angela.
I was starting mine in there.
Their setup is a little bit different from what I'm used to, but I think I'll adjust with no problem.
This is pretty exciting for us because we don't have to worry about contamination. We don't have to be worried about cars going by because there's nothing around here for miles. So the team's really excited to investigate what's been called the most haunted home in Sweden.
All right, let's get some ghosts.
Look at this efficient setup. All right, Barry, what do we got for cameras?
Okay, we've got 2 cameras in the first drawing room.
Okay.
We're covering both angles at this point to make sure that we get any disturbance with the beds. We have another one pointed toward the rocking chair. So we'll get any movement there should the rocking chair move or should it get dragged across the floor. In the yellow room, we have wireless running. So with that, we've got a good coverage of all the places that are reported throughout the tour.
We've got such a small place. If we can get 3 people in the house, that way we're not worried about contamination. Goodness knows we're in the middle of nowhere. We don't have to worry about it from anyone else. Let's get the lights out and get to it.
I'm going to sit in that rocking chair that the priest apparently got pushed out of. I'm going to set the thermal up so I can get a good view of that chair at all times.
I'm gonna go ahead and set the aperture to the light.
Barry showed you how to use the fancy camera, huh?
Yes, the full spectrum one.
It's like a graduation.
I know. I was taking photos on the full spectrum camera with the hopes of capturing some paranormal activity in the IR spectrum, ultraviolet spectrum, or in the normal spectrum.
This is Dustin and Angela in the priest house, downstairs room where the rocking chair is. What if I sit in and the whole thing falls apart? There you go. I had a light breakfast, so.
Okay. If anyone's in this room with us, can you please give us a sign, make a sound? Please go over near Dustin.
We just want to document that you're here. We have several cameras going. We also have this device down here. And if you can come close to this box, it'll make a sound just so I know that you are here with us and that you're trying to communicate with us. I've always kind of been in an interesting position in regards to paranormal investigation and religion. A lot of people think the two shouldn't mix, but I think it's important to do this to try to show other people that regardless of what religion you may believe in, there is something out there. There is some sort of afterlife. And by doing these investigations, maybe I can help prove that to some people and maybe make them think a little bit differently about their actions in this life.
What is the importance of this rocking chair? Were you possibly the wife that died here?
Why do you remain here? Do you feel as if you're trapped here?
I just heard it sounded like a woman.
From out there?
Yes.
I heard something out there too, but I can picture what it was.
It was a woman.
Let's take a look.
I just heard it sounded like a woman while we were downstairs investigating, Dustin and I. We both heard a female's voice outside of the room we were in.
I heard something out there too, but I can picture what it was.
It was a woman.
Let's take a look.
And there's no females in here other than me.
Nope.
It came from out here.
Angela and I are in the dining room. Rob is upstairs in the yellow room. Rob, is that you that made this noise? I want to give him a quick call on the walkie, see if you hear anything. Hey, Rob, you there?
Go ahead.
You didn't just hear what sounded like a woman just like a minute ago outside?
Nothing from here.
You know what? Let's take the EMF and mini DV, slide it out there. Then we'll come back in here. This will be running audio out there and video. And we can stay in here doing what we're doing. If there's anybody in here that wants to communicate with us, we want to leave some equipment in here that if you do speak, we will be able to hear you. All right, let's slide back in here.
All right.
Angela.
What?
There was just a woman's voice here when I came in.
You heard a woman's voice?
Yeah. It was just here in the corner when I came in. We come back in here and we hear a sound out there again. It was like right there, like where that chair is.
Like she was sitting in the chair or something.
Yeah, exactly, right where that chair is. You got a recorder going?
Got it. Dustin and Angela. Dustin just heard a female voice.
There's a lady still here present with us. Could you please give us a sign? I couldn't make out what she was saying. It was just like 2 words.
Really?
Yeah. Are you the woman that lost her life giving birth to her child here? If there's anything you can do to kind of show us that you're here with us.
Let's continue with this and see if we can stir it up some more. Okay, guys, what I want to do now is come at it from another angle. During the tour, we were given the idea that digging outside toward the child's grave to stir up some activity within the house. So, knowing that Rob, Dustin, and Angela previously had already been in and was very respectful to the spirit, we decided to go the opposite way. So, what I'm going to do is find a spade and a pick, and we're going to disturb some earth. Okay. What you guys are going to do is stand in the landing upstairs and listen. Okay. We need to see if there's going to be a reaction in the house. Run EVP. Hopefully we'll capture something.
Okay. Okay. Is that the floorboards?
Yeah. They're really creaky.
EVP session, about to make the first dig for the remains of the child's grave.
EVP session, Joe and Brandy upstairs in front of the yellow and the blue rooms.
You were quite a sick individual.
We just want some kind of response from you.
Are you angry that our friend is going to dig up your land? Is this disrespectful to you that we're here doing what we're doing?
What does it take to make you react? Let the people know inside. You want me to stop? Make your appearance.
If you would like him to stop, you're going to have to tell us.
Do you understand that you are no longer living?
Sounds like thumping from the ground.
In search of the child that was... Did you hear that?
I did.
If that was you, can you make that noise again? Joe and I were hearing very faint thumping, and it sounded like they were coming from the outdoors.
There may be Barry coming in.
Barry, is that you?
Yes.
Okay.
How was it in here?
Some light possible footsteps or some light thudding?
Yeah, I was hearing the thudding outside as well.
So, you know, we all heard the same thing, and it was loud enough to emanate the outdoors.
The second floor has all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, okay.
All right, ladies first.
Thank you.
Angel and I were investigating the yellow bedroom. We were doing a little EVP session. The husband, apparently after his wife had died, went down to the morgue and took the body back here.
Oh.
People hear screams of her in labor, as well as seeing him in here.
EVP session in the yellow room. My name's Angela, and this is Dustin. We came here tonight to speak to whoever stays in this room.
If you could, we ask you to please try to communicate with us. We have some recorders here that would capture your voice. We also have this small box here on the floor that'll make a sound if you go near it, just letting us know that you're here with us.
Are you the woman that died giving childbirth in this room? If you're present, can you please make a sound for us?
The husband, we know that you loved your wife very much, so much that you couldn't let go.
Are you upset at how she was taken from you so early?
Was that a little click on the EMF?
It did sound like a little click.
I'm gonna put this down here so we can see it.
So if that was you who loved your wife so much, can you just let us know that you're here? Can you walk in front of the device?
Because she died giving birth to your child, perhaps you feel you were responsible for it in some way. What's that thumping sound?
I heard 2 thumps, yes.
Are you able to make that thumping sound again? Do you blame yourself for losing her so young?
Are you looking for answers? Answers to why it might have happened to her? Oh. Did you hear that?
Yep.
So you are looking for answers as to why she passed.
Can't imagine how painful this whole ordeal was for you.
I can't imagine you losing your life and not being able to hold your child.
You have our permission to try to touch one of us. The center area feels really cold.
My bed, I kid you not, feels like it's vibrating. And I'm not moving. No one's walking.
It is vibrating.
You feel that, right?
Yeah. This is messed up.
If that's you shaking
this is messed up. You can feel the whole thing shaking.
You feel it?
Angela and I were upstairs in the yellow room, and then the bed starts to like tremor and quake.
It's moving.
That's amazing. I've heard stuff like that, but I've never actually was able to feel that. I've done countless paranormal investigations, and I've always heard these claims of beds that quaked and tremored or lifted off the ground. And tonight was the first time that I've ever actually experienced that.
Oh.
You all right?
Felt like something here, like I'm getting pressure on my waist.
It's completely still now.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I just want to check. I mean, there's nothing here.
I know, and we weren't walking, so it couldn't be the floor.
I did my best to try to figure out if there's something causing it, and there was nothing causing it. There's nothing else touching that bed. And nobody else is in the house right now. Yeah, we've got a lot of rooms up here to cover.
We appreciate your cooperation.
We'll be leaving you. I'm really hoping that maybe we'll have some EVPs.
EVP session, Barry and Dustin.
I'll sit here.
Do me a favor. Would you mind going into the blue room?
All right.
Recite the Lord's Prayer and see what happens.
All right. Very well.
I just came across a brainwave and asked Dustin to use something which would be familiar with the priest at the time, which was to recite the Lord's Prayer.
Almost felt as if somebody was already in here. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Barry asked me to recite the Lord's Prayer. Hey, Barry.
Yeah?
I get the distinct feeling we're not alone up here, buddy.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I started feeling very uncomfortable in the blue room. Something feels very off.
I sat up, and then I felt the bottom of the bed close. It felt as if there was a tug on it. Dustin?
Yes, my friend.
Come in here, bring the camera in, quick. I want to tell you what I seen. There was a shadow over here, leaning over, looking at this stuff, at the equipment.
Yeah. So it's inquisitive.
And I actually looked at it and thought to myself, what is that? What am I seeing?
Well, how about if you want to take some photos from here?
Yeah.
I'll leave that up to you.
You let it run. Dustin, there's something very bizarre. Come here and have a look at this.
What do you got, brother?
The reflection here?
Yeah, you get a shadow there of it.
Oh, it's not there.
No, go back. In the yellow room, we captured something that appears to be very promising. We won't know for sure until we, really blow it up and take a good look at it.
I know what that looks like.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I can't wait to see that on a little bigger screen.
All right, it's about that time. Let's get everyone back to Command Central, get the lights on, and get packed up. Several members of the team had what they described as some great experiences. Dustin, Barry, Angela all described some incredible stuff. So at this point, we need to get back, get some rest, and I hope that the experiences they had were backed up by evidence.
Joe, if you wouldn't mind covering the mini DV for me.
Sure.
Angela, if you would run through the handheld EVP recorders. And Brandy, could you run the DVR system for me?
Certainly.
Okay, guys, I've got something for you here I want you to have a look at. It was caught in the yellow room with a full spectrum camera. Everything here in these shots, you see, is perfectly normal. However, one shot that I happen to notice is that we can see something here that resembles a cross, which appears here on the table. I had sent Dustin next door to start reciting prayers. And that's whenever the thing started to happen.
Based on your experiences, and Dustin at the time was doing the Lord's Prayer, I mean, if it's perfect.
I think we should definitely bring that to Rob's attention and possibly bring it to the client.
Okay, let's move on, see what else we find. a strange one for you. This is taken off the wireless mic, which was in the yellow room. Have a listen.
All right. Okay. Okay, yeah. That's really good.
So guys, I'm really excited to hear about what you guys found.
This location was perfect for us, and we certainly found that there was no shortage of personal experiences. In this case, we had some experiences that we had multiple investigators involved with. Dustin was sitting on the bed in the yellow room with another investigator, Angela, on the opposite bed, when she, said, "Bed starting to vibrate." And Dustin's thinking to himself, sure, puts his hand on it and notices that, yes, absolutely, the entire bed in the yellow room is vibrating and shaking.
That's scary.
Later on in the night, Barry and myself went back up to the yellow room, and we kind of split up between the yellow room and the blue room.
Then Barry, while sitting on the bed, noticed the cover of the bed being pulled on.
And Barry looks up into the corner, and he sees a black figure, like a shadow, leaning over, looking at the equipment.
Wow.
But like I said earlier, that's personal experiences. That's nothing that we can show you here, so we can't consider that evidence.
Yeah.
But we did capture some physical evidence I'd like to show you.
Oh.
We left one wireless microphone recording the entire night, and we got a voice that appeared on that. So we'd like to play that for you and see what you think.
Wow.
Were you able to discern what it was saying?
No, I couldn't hear. I heard that it was Swedish. It was something in Swedish, but I can't tell you what.
I'm trying to point it out for you exactly where it is.
Yeah. It's really weird. It's like a young woman speaking.
No, I don't think we went too much into where this actually happened.
Okay.
Your favorite room.
Oh, really?
The yellow room.
That's scary. That's kind of makes sense why you can't go in there sometimes.
And so I know this was a big point for you because this room, has really terrified you in the past. So we started taking some digital photographs with a piece of equipment. It's called the full spectrum camera. There was something that did come up in these photographs. We do want to show you here.
Okay.
So this, I'm sure, looks familiar to you. Maybe not from the inside, since you don't go in there very often. But this is the yellow room.
Yeah.
Okay. We look at this first one. Nothing unusual.
No.
Look at this second photo. Also nothing unusual.
Yeah.
And then you took this third photo. What we saw in here, as you can see, is a semblance of a cross.
Oh, right there, yeah.
The only thing that made us question it is the fact that if you look at this doorknob here, it's got kind of a similar shape to it.
Definitely something unusual we wanted you to see.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was able to find out was the priest that kept his deceased wife in that room, after a period of time, he did, in fact, bury her.
Oh, really?
But then when it was his time to leave the house, he dug her back up and took her with him to wherever he went.
Wow. Well, now I'm never going to go in there again. Definitely not.
I don't think it was necessarily our intention to make sure that you never went in that room again. But given the voice in this kind of strange photo, there's not enough evidence for us during our investigation to say this is a haunted location.
No.
And even though I'll honor your decision never to set foot in there again, I don't really, honestly, my opinion, feel like you have anything to be concerned with in this house.
You don't?
No.
Well, I'm kind of glad to know that as well, that there's nothing to worry about.
I don't think so.
No.
And we want to really thank you for having us here, and it was great for us to come out and investigate.
Thank you. I'm really thankful that you guys came, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
Will we head out?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I was really shocked when I heard the recording on the voice. That was really scary, especially because it was the yellow room. It was just, it was really surprising to hear.
I'll tell you, man, of all the cases we've done, that was definitely one of the most, it was kind of morbid, the whole fact of having his dead wife there. It was really sad.
All right, well, hopefully Brandy can keep up that level of, intensity, and we'll see what else we got here.
All right, man. So on to the next one.
Hey everybody, our investigation tonight is actually at the Fortress of Varberg. The fortress was constructed in the 13th and 14th centuries, and up until 1830 was used for military purposes. The fort is now used partially as a museum. Now, the activity that is said to occur here includes sightings of full-bodied apparitions, a headless knight, a dark figure of a lady who roams the grounds, as well as intense feelings of uneasiness and anguish.
All right, this is it coming up on the left. Yep, that whole thing is part of the fort.
Oh, wow, that thing is huge.
Yeah, this thing's massive. All right, let's get in there and find out what's going on.
Sweet.
Hi.
Hello.
Rob.
Rob, I'm Inga. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Varberg.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
So can you tell us about the history?
You're standing on a mountain that has been used as a guard mountain as long back as the Viking Age. In the 1330s, there was a castle built here, and then they built a fortress around the castle. So the fortress was finished around 1618, and then they turned this into a prison, and then it turned into a museum.
We understand there's some paranormal goings on as well.
I can show you if you like.
Yeah, if you could take us around and show us where the activity is, that'd be great.
This is the old stronghold from the 14th century. And here you have one of our oldest employees. This is a man who we call the Bockstein man. He was actually, we think, murdered somewhere around 1350, placed in a peat bog. Someone then chose to pierce this man quite thoroughly, right through his heart, to prevent him from becoming a ghost, to come back and haunt the people and, revenge and so on.
Do we want to know what's in that box?
But this is his brain. We have some fingernails and some other stuff here, and his own hair.
That is his own hair?
Yes, his own hair.
Dustin's impressed.
Yeah. I mean, mine's usually pretty good, but I mean, he's been dead for a while.
650 years.
Wow.
I was all alone in the museum, and when I passed through the room of the Bockstein man, a voice screamed my name. And then I got very scared because I knew there were no one there. But I was absolutely sure that someone screamed on me.
Okay, so where are we heading next?
To see another strange place. So this is now the entrance to the dungeons.
Okay.
Welcome in.
Thank you. Watch your head.
So this is a dungeon here.
So what kind of paranormal activity has been reported here?
Some say that they have felt the presence of a man. He's very anxious. Some say there's a woman walking around here. Some say lots of people are here.
So do we know whenever the place was being used as a prison, were they predominantly male here, or was there female and children alike?
We have, female prisoners as well, but they are very few.
Okay.
All right, so should we head on?
Yes, follow me. So this is the spiral walkway in this bastion. We have 5 bastions around the fortress. We have old stories about people having seen a headless knight riding around here. We have never seen him, but there are reports of him in the archives. And this is the other dungeon. The worst dungeon, I would say. I don't like this place. I actually really don't like being down here. And you see, there are no windows, dark and dreary place.
All right, gentlemen, well, thank you very much for the tour. We're going to get to it.
And good luck.
Thanks. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get to it. This fort is absolutely enormous. We got the cold getting to us a little bit and the rain starting to come down, so everyone's got to work hard to make sure that we do a complete investigation. You want to have the mic basically dangling freely over the stairwell. And we'll just leave it there and see what happens.
We have many areas to cover, so we want to get people into those areas with as much equipment as possible and see if we can record anything.
All right, once we got your equipment, let's get the lights turned off and let's get right to it. I'll see everyone back here much later on. Good luck, everybody. So obviously the first thing I want to check out is the dungeon down here, because supposedly our client, this is the one area of this entire place that she does not want to be in.
Really?
Yeah. Cool. And when we asked him, you know, what kind of reports of paranormal activity do you have, there was no answer because no one generally is allowed down here.
I think these tunnels were made for sharp people like me.
Yeah, right. It's perfect Joe Chin sized.
That looks like a torture chamber.
Problem is when you're dealing with people's feelings, unless there's something, you know, if they said we.
The hell's that? Pretty big.
I definitely heard something. Problem is when you're dealing with people's feelings, unless there's something, you know, if they said we.
The hell's that?
I definitely heard something coming back here. Joe Chin and I were conducting a thermal sweep in the area where our client had actually expressed that this was a part of the dungeon that she felt very scared to go into when we heard a loud sound. Shouldn't be anyone even close to this area, not even remotely. When we first walked down that hallway, I fully expected to turn that corner and say, Dustin, what are you guys doing in here? I thought you were going to investigate the other prison first. And there's no one here. I mean, this place is enormous, and there's nobody here.
Okay. So this is the museum.
Yeah. So from what I've heard, someone that works here heard their name called from, I guess, in this area.
Wow.
I think shooting this area with the full spectrum would be
a good place
spot.
to start.
Yeah.
I know. Brandy and Angela, EVP session. If anyone's in this room with us tonight, can you please come forward and speak to us? Can you tell us why you stay in this museum?
What was that?
Did you hear something back there?
Yeah, I just heard something down here.
Brandy heard a sound in back of her, which is a corridor, and there are two doors. Oh.
It's this door.
Oh, is it that door? Oh, to went?
Yeah. Feel this. Try to open it, and you can see that it's the wind. It's pushing. There's like a suction on the door.
We actually realized that one of the doors didn't have the latch on it, and it's very, very windy outside, and we were able to feel the pressure of the door moving. So we were pretty confident that that was what we heard.
Okay, Angela?
Yes.
Stand over by the stairs.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold open this door.
Okay.
And you just yell to me if you can hear me.
One of the claims was someone who works here heard her name called, which ironically enough was the same area where we heard the doors banging, and we kind of tested it out.
Okay, Angela, can you hear me from where you are?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
How about now?
Yep. I can hear you perfectly fine. Even to the faintest whisper, I was able to make out my name clearly.
I mean, this is a whole nother section of the museum back there.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that she heard someone else.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that what she experienced was actually a ghost saying her name. It's an alternative explanation.
EVP session, Baron and Dustin in the Monk's Bastion. We mean you no harm.
If you have anything to say to us, we'd be glad to hear it.
Can you tell us your name?
You're a native of Sweden.
Shh.
Just hear something there.
Yeah. I think we've got things going on both sides.
I'm not hearing stuff in the hallway.
Yeah.
Barry, does it feel like it's getting colder to you?
It does, actually. Can you please come forward and make yourself known? Where are you? Where are you?
I'm over here.
There was something behind me. I just heard right behind me. I thought to myself, what the hell's Dustin doing back there? Should we go and check to see what that sound was? Just leave the stuff recording here.
What's that noise?
Up there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's legend. What's that down here? Does that like something being rolled? More so than anything.
And at one point we heard what sounded like a rolling sound, which would be interesting if it came through because they used to roll cannons up and down the walkways there. So we'll have to take a look at our recordings.
I'm gonna tell you something, Joe Chin. We've done some crazy weather conditions, but I feel like I'm doing a newscast in a hurricane.
We've investigated a lot of places where weather was going to be, you know, a bit of a condition we had to contend with, but I don't think we've ever faced anything quite like this. This was gale force winds, driving rain in your face.
This is not safe.
It's gonna blow us down the hill.
Dude, have you looked at the drop-off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I see the blue water.
Blue water. All right, got him. Right over there.
See it.
Come on, Joe. Oh, my God. Oh, grab that, Joe. That's mine. Oh!
Lost your hat.
I lost my hat.
All right, let's wrap it up.
I live in Florida, and I've been through a bunch of hurricanes. I've never been through anything like that. That is definitely the most powerful wind and toughest weather I have ever been up against.
Okay, folks. Varberg Fortress in Sweden. There was something interesting happened with Dustin and myself while we were down in the Monk's Bastion. We thought we heard something rolling, so if you come across that, let me know, and we'll see if we can figure that out.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, hey guys. Barry, I think I found, with you and Dustin, in the lower dungeon monk's bastion.
With the acoustics and everything in there, it was very, very hard for Dustin and myself to make out what exactly it was. But
you definitely hear something, so if you want to take a listen.
Okay.
Ready?
We thank you for that. Yeah, that's what we heard, but that's much clearer.
You know, that's the sound of the rolling cannon.
How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. And you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, I'm really excited to hear what you have found, or not found, so
All right,
waiting for the results.
Yeah, well, when we get the stories, we have to use our equipment to first and foremost see if there's alternative explanations besides something paranormal.
The other thing was just because of the dynamic structure itself. You have these long passageways and these large arched rooms. The acoustics are crazy in here. At one point, Barry and I thought we heard the sound of the cannons rolling, like we've been told. But upon further review of our evidence, when we checked our voice recorders, it turns out it was just a car that went by the door at the top of the passageway. But that's, just an example of how the sounds carry in here.
So what we did when we went through all the equipment, all the digital voice recorders, all the photographs, all the video, we did not find anything paranormal.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, I don't believe this place is haunted.
Okay. Well, in a way, it's actually a relief to know that everyone who has been here living and are now dead actually are at peace. And it's a relief for some of the people working here who might feel a bit, scared about meeting ghosts. So I'm actually quite pleased.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful fort. I mean, this place was gorgeous. And I had an absolute blast investigating here. I actually am on hat number 2 right now because when Joe and I decided to thermal sweep the wind, got hat number 1. I have never seen anything like that. But, I had an absolute blast, and thank you so much for having us here.
But before you go, I have something for you. Could it be perhaps this one? So we found it outside.
Okay, so where did you find it?
Outside by the cannon, by the bastion.
Thank you so much. Shall we go?
Yeah, okay, thanks. This was really an experience meeting all of the team and seeing how they worked here. Maybe some of us working here would feel a bit safer now when they know that there are no ghosts, more comfortable walking around here alone at night.
At the end of the day, man, we no evidence of ghosts, but you get your hat.
Yeah. All said and done, it was a good investigation. The team stuck through it, despite the weather and all the challenges. And I got my hat back.
That's it, man. End of a good day.
All right, man, let's go back, get packed up, and see where we're off to next.
All right, let's do it.